and welcome to the Gotham Outsiders, another very special episode. Coffee addicted replacement Robin. I'm your host, Chris, and his dads are Superman and Lex Luthor, my co-host, TJ.
Oh my God, I'm having an identity crisis, and it's a little bit gay. Hi, everyone. I am your Chris proclaimed Batman acolyte.
As with many of our special episodes, we don't have just one guest. We have two. With us today, the second biggest TimKon shipper since Jeff Johns, Thomas Esmore.
Hey, so excited to be here.
So excited to have you. And back for a second time and battier than ever, TikTok sketch king and the red hood of our hearts, Panda Red.
I like that one. Yeah. Hi.
Well, thank you both for coming. Of course, this is Panda, your second time. We're so excited you're back. And Thomas, I asked you to come on forever ago, like right when our podcast was starting. So it's good to finally pay that off and have you here.
Yeah, it's like my first time ever on a podcast. So you're like taking the podcast V card, kind of.
This is not our first time doing that.
I was like, you're the second guest to make that exact joke, and I love it.
Yes.
The flower of all new people.
Well, we are living in a brand new age where Tim Drake has come out, is canonically queer, and we are big fans of TimKon here on this podcast.
Yeah,
and we just needed to talk about it. Panda, you do a lot of like sketches, of course, and there's a lot of TimKon references in those. And Thomas, of course, you're really big in the TimKon fandom on Twitter. So it just made sense to bring you both in here and we can just hash it out and talk about our relationship with the ship and the fandom and all of our experiences and Tim Drake coming out.
Yes. So let's start there. What are your thoughts on TimKon generally?
I always kind of considered it like it's fanon at this point. It's not even just people just going, it's a ship that we have. It's everyone and their mother can look at it and go, yeah, those two are a thing, right? That's not even like questionable. Like if you I grew up reading comics right before the New 52, right after like Battle for the Cowl and everything.
Yes.
Where Tim Drake really leaned on Superboy because he was the only person that like believed him.
Yeah.
And reading those, even as a tiny panda, was like, oh, those two are dating. Like,
as a cub, you would say.
Yeah, as a panda cub, I was like, those two are a thing, right? And it was only later I found out that it's like, oh no, he's supposed to be straight. I'm like, what? But hold on, all of the other things. What are you talking about? That doesn't.
But wait, we have critical reading skills, and
yeah,
right. I was also
this
supposed
for more
to be
than 3 seconds.
Yeah. Also in the early 2000s, I was supposed to be straight.
To.
Yeah, didn't work out. But I just read those issues recently, and in preparation of all this Tim Drake palooza, I was like, okay, I need to read some Tim Drake. So I've read some of those Red Robins, and I think it's those issues where Tim is just like, thanks for believing in me. And it's such a good moment.
Yeah. Like those two have such a genuine emotional connection that you don't usually see in comic. A lot of times, as much as I love comics, a lot of times comic book relationships are very much, they're dating. Why? Because they're dating. And that's like the rule of it. We don't really have a reason that Spider-Man and Gwen Stacy like each other. They just like each other.
That is such a good point. Yes.
But with Tim Drake and Connor, they have like an actual emotional connection, and they have forever. And I'm assuming that it was from a bunch of straight writers who thought that they're just real good pals, just friends. They're just real good buddies. And then if every single writer hammers that in enough, everyone and their mother's going to be like, are they just good buddies? Because this doesn't really seem like just good buddy talk.
Right. You can only say no homo so many times
before it's all the homo.
Right.
Before it's like, are you sure it isn't? Are you 100% certain?
Right. How about for you, Thomas?
So I've been like into TimKon like ever since I was like 11 or 12, to be honest. Like just when I was like figuring out my own sexuality, like I kind of like also was figuring out their sexuality in a way. So I was around the same time as well. Like I got into comics like around Battle of the Cowl, and like around that time 2009, 8, or that time. So that was when Connor came back, and Tim really leaned on him, and yeah, basically the same thing. Just like I just got the vibes, and
this was like a formative era ship for both of you, is what I'm hearing.
yeah, and also because the fandom as well, which was pretty active back then. Probably the beginnings of what it is now. I'm not sure about it beforehand because I wasn't there, but yeah, so the fandom really like propped them up as well. So I got a lot of content from them. So yeah, it was just easy to look at them and be like, yeah, they're cute and relationship goals.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. And TJ, you're new to this ship, but what are your thoughts on it?
What are my thoughts on TimKon? Wow. So like I'm a huge Wiccan Hulkling fan.
Awesome.
Thomas, I know you are too. Yeah.
Yes.
And it's kind of the same. I saw there is a discussion lately on Stan Twitter where people are not that they don't love it, but that they want more diversity in terms of like when we have a gay couple in comics, you have the big beefy one, and then you have the skinny twink, arm candy boyfriend. Like they're both kind of
you're not wrong. You're not wrong.
They're both that archetype, and we have that archetype a lot, not just in comics, but like everywhere in all sorts of media. I love that trope. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that trope. But anyway, I do understand that, yes, we come in all different shapes and sizes, but I love that trope. So for me, I'm like, okay, this could be the Wicked and Hulkling for me of the DC universe. Yeah. And I just needed a gay ship. Chris got me into this podcast, and I was like, I need something to latch onto. I need my ship. And there was just something about this one where I was like, oh, this is it. And maybe the big fandom aspect is what drew me in, because it already had a community, and I was like, oh, I can join this and be a part of this. Absolutely. And then Tim Drake came out.
Like the perfect time for you to get into this ship, right?
Right. And here we are.
Yeah. I think for me, they hit one of my favorite tropes as well, which in the fandom is called the like hand and unlovable hand trope, which is they both feel like underloved by their families at times, but together they recognize each other's importance and skills, and they prop each other up in this like really meaningful way that other people in their lives don't do.
Yeah. And I have to give Thomas credit so I think even on this show, I was like, I need to get into TimKon. I went into the hashtag, whatever, and I was like, who can I talk to about this? Thomas, you definitely came up in that hashtag. And I reached out to Thomas and was like, hey, do you have any like reading recommendations? I'm trying to get into this. And that's actually where I started. So thank you, Thomas.
Oh, you're welcome. Like, I just keep a list of like, okay, here's all the issues. It was mainly just my shopping list, because like I need to get physical copies of like all these issues, and I just give it out to people.
Yes.
And then Panda and Thomas, so what draws you both to this ship? Why do you think so many people latch onto it?
I would probably say, as much as I love Stephanie Brown and Tim Drake, they don't feel like they have the same emotional connection that a lot of people see with Superboy and with Robin, as well as there's the storylines involving why those two are in a relationship happened like early 90s. They all happened before a lot of people, like everybody in this room, all started getting into comics at around like Battle for the Cowl. They started getting into comics like mid 2000s ish. And all the stories that really concerned the Stephanie Brown and Tim Drake ship, or any other relationships that Tim Drake has been in, all kind of happened before our time, I would say. Yeah. At least with me. I just knew Stephanie Brown is Tim Drake's girlfriend, and that was the extent of it. There wasn't really a ton of stories that came out around that time that really got into why those two were together. But seeing Tim Drake and Superboy interact gave me a very much more like, oh, so these two like each other, right? Yeah. Like just obviously. I mean, that's the thing that draws me to it, is because it seems like it's written more romantically. It doesn't feel shoehorned in. It feels natural. It feels like these two would naturally enjoy each other's company and rely on each other. And absolutely. I mean, what is more of an expression of love than oh, he died, so I'm literally going to do anything I can, including pervert nature itself, to bring him back.
Right?
He has a straight up Orpheus tale with Superboy. Like, that's not, you can't get any more on the nose than that.
100%.
Plus, it doesn't really hurt that anytime that a comic writer tells you to ignore a ship, that just reinforces it more. Anytime any author anywhere tells you, oh, no, that's not right. These two are they're just real good friends. Everyone and their mother goes, what are you hiding?
Right. What do you have behind your back? Is it a gay relationship?
Is that representation back there that you're taking from me? Give it.
Yeah, the way I read it is like Stephanie is who society has made Tim think he should be with, but Connor is like his deepest desire. And I feel that way with this story by Megan Fitzmartin, where he's actually looking inward for the first time, and he broke up with Stephanie, and it's like, maybe something's coming.
I love Stephanie so much, but she and him have friend energy, like hardcore. If you met them as a couple, you'd be like, you guys are 16 and the spark is dead already. Like,
right.
What happened?
And that doesn't mean he doesn't love her, or not even romantically, but I think she's just not like his soulmate. Like, I don't know.
Well, other than the size difference, because I just love size differences.
Right, a good trope.
I just like, I just like the like organic sort of like relationship. I often like really hate most comic book relationships, because they just feel like the writer wanted them together, so they're together, sort of.
Jean Grey, Scott Summers.
Yes.
Oh yes. Oh, it hurts.
And like I also say that to like Tim Steph, which I'm not really a fan of at all. But like I respect them as friends. Like they should be friends. So, and like knowing Chuck Dixon's politics and all that, it makes sense why he'd like make them like why he'll try to enforce it.
We don't acknowledge him. No.
The CD word.
Oh, don't say that on this podcast. We'll have to put an explicit label.
He who should not be named. Yeah, so I just like the organic feeling, like the organicness of it. There's like a lot of symbolism, especially like with when Connor dies. Like there's just so much around that. Because Cassie, who was dating Connor, like she changed her costume and tried to find ways to bring Connor back, just like Tim did. So it's like, so they're on the same level.
Yeah. 100%.
They're red and black because he wore them. Those were his colors. It's like, gay.
Right. Truly.
Like that's why it's my favorite costume, like of all time. And yeah, when Connor comes back, like all the emotional like support they both give, like Adventure Comics #3, which is like perfect because they both have their own struggles and they both support each other, and it's just so healthy and organic, and like just desperately want that representation, which I think everyone is starved for. So and since it's a Robin and a super like person, that would easily propel them to like the forefront of like queer representation. So everyone is just starved for it. So I guess that's what brings everyone to it.
Yep.
Yeah. I also like that they're like not enemies to lovers, but they were kind of antagonistic to one another. I started with the Young Justice, the first volume, per Thomas's recommendation, I believe.
Yeah.
And that's what really got me, was just there was tension between them, and there was so many panels. They were kind of like the mom and dad to Bart, and but then also they're frenemies. And then slowly we do get to the point where they, are leaning on each other and emotionally supportive of each other. And I just love that growth, and I want to see it. Give it to me everywhere, including live action Titans. I'm waiting.
Yes. What a perfect time to do it, right? I mean, goodness.
I would actually watch the show if that happens. I get.
That still wouldn't make me watch the show. I still wish very bad things on the writers of those.
I
those
just
shows.
watched the new episode. It's Superboy sleeps with Blackfire, and it's
I
like
hate that.
People
so
are
I
much.
watched
mad.
I watched up to the end of episode 1, and then I went into a major depressive episode for like
oh
3 days afterward. Jason Todd is my boy, and they
Yes.
ruined him so many times in that show to the
Mhm.
point where I can't. There's nothing that can make me like that show.
Not
now.
even
literally
TimKon.
nothing.
This
No.
is like
Even
So-
then, because then they'd find a way to fuck that up too.
So, what are our thoughts on Tim coming out now in the comics?
Tentative worry, I would say.
Uh-oh.
I'm excited. I'm very happy that they made it canon now.
Mhm. Yes.
I'm worried because I know 90% of comic book writers are straight guys that are gonna look at it and go, okay, how do I do this correctly? I feel like there's going to be a messy period, and that's where I'm a little worried. I'm happy for it because I'm excited
yes.
for all the possibilities it brings, and the fact that the option of TimKon is now on the table.
Yes.
right.
I am worried for the exact time that they put those two in a relationship, because I can mentally see all of the stories that are going to come out of it. Think bat and cat marriage situation
Oh.
where there's going to be an on again off again scenario. They'll probably have some story where they almost get into a relationship and then back off of it. It might be that thing that they constantly tease but never fully dedicate to,
Mm.
Yeah.
which is what I'm worried as fuck about.
Yeah.
I want it to happen so bad, but when something becomes so ubiquitous in a fandom and then it becomes canon, now we don't have control over it anymore.
Right.
And now there will be canon stories where we have to figure out, okay, how's the representation here?
Right.
I feel the fix happening already.
Yeah.
We were just talking with Glenn Weldon and Lauren O'Connor, and Lauren brought up that TimKon is just such a big ship that what writer is going to want to take that on and face the pressure of when the
Yeah.
backlash of if it isn't like to the expectations of the fandom, like that's what worries me. That if it never happens, if that's why, but it's like just do it. Let a queer writer do it well. I'm looking at you, Anthony Oliveira.
Yes, please.
Yes. I guess for me, it's kind of like an emotional roller coaster, to be honest. Like it started out like overjoyed. Like I was just like, I think I cried, like teared up when I read it,
Aw.
because I was just like, I've waited for this moment for like 10 years or so. And like, it just felt good to be like validated.
Yeah.
And like,
Yeah.
I was right. Like to all the people who are like, no, Tim's not queer. It's like, well, guess what now? And
The told you so aspect.
Oh,
told
I
you.
love it too.
Then of course, like, you know, the fandom, like, and Twitter as a whole, like mainly Twitter, like, you know, that had lots of mixed reactions,
Mhm.
like some good, some bad, and like some I personally like felt iffy with. Yeah, it was just like up and down all day long. It went for like 2 days, so I was just like, oh, I'm half excited now. Oh no, people know about it.
Oh,
Oh yeah, I'm
no.
excited now. Oh no.
Yeah.
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 Because like when the right wing people I find out, it's just like, oh god, I'm not gonna talk to them.
You mean when it hit
Mhm.
like public news with a picture of Dick Grayson? Yep.
Oh yeah. Like
Oh god. I can speak to when I made the first. I made a video about Tim coming out.
Yes, I love that
And
video so much,
It
Panda.
was very
Thank
good.
you, thank you. And reading some of the comments, I instituted a rule that if you tell me Tim being gay doesn't make any sense, I block you immediately.
Good.
But specifically off of that post, because I'm like, oh, okay, you have bad taste. But I got so many comments of people like, does that really make sense for his character? Why didn't they just make a new Robin and make him gay? And I'm like, okay, first of all, you obviously have never read a Tim Drake comic in your life, because the obviousness of it since the beginning has been there. But on top of that, what would that accomplish? Or do you want to add another Robin to the roster that's not going to be that's going to show up for 30 issues and then disappear again?
Right.
Like,
I'd be like 7 Robins.
yeah, like here's the thing is like I love Duke Thomas as a character. The
Yes.
Signal is such a great character.
Yes.
But after the Scott Snyder run where he showed up,
Yeah.
where the fuck is he? He doesn't show up in the
Mhm.
comics very much anymore.
He moved
Because-
to Webtoons.
Yes, I was gonna say he's the main
to the
character.
Webtoons comic.
He's
That's
the
it.
main
The
thing is,
character, but
He showed up, they introduced this new character that had a lot of potential, and then they just kind of shoved him into the back burner because they
Right.
didn't really want to talk about him anymore.
they put him in the room that Harper Row is in.
Yeah, exactly. And Harper Row, another character where it's like,
Right.
okay.
Yeah, speaking of queer characters we shove in the corner and pretend don't
Yeah,
exist.
that is
Poor Harper.
exactly what would happen. They would introduce a
100%.
new Robin, they would make them, they would add a little bit of representation, and then they would be like, okay, we got our brownie points, and then shove them in the corner.
Right.
And that's where I'm like, no, this is good. You made a mainstream character that people have been saying is this way for years,
Yes.
the way that everybody has said they are.
Right.
Which I think is a good thing, but you're absolutely right, Thomas, about the when the right-wing people get to it, they look at it and they immediately go like, is this right? Is this how this character should be?
Chris and I coped by making a dramatic reading video of
Oh,
all of the best comments
The
of
best
this.
terrible comments.
Right,
Oh,
right,
God.
right. But I think the problem here, like if we're like in a mature way of looking at this,
Hmm.
like is that people are uneducated about queerness and the experience of queer youth. And it's like Tim Drake is what, like
Yeah.
18 at this point, 19 maybe.
He's been
somewhere
a teenager
around
for
there.
the last 15 years.
Right, right. He's somewhere around there.
He's been a teenager since before Jason Todd was alive again. So
Right.
that's,
Right?
It's like
that's our
people this
measure.
age, they explore their sexuality and discover it. Like if you're not, you can do it at any age, but specifically when you're a teenager. So like
Yeah.
it doesn't not make sense just because he is quote suddenly, not straight. Like that doesn't mean he went from straight to being bisexual or gay or queer, whatever we want to call it, whatever he ends up being. He was always that. But also, this is comics. Like retcons happen all the time.
Right. I don't even know when he is or is not adopted by Batman. Are you going to tell me that his character is consistent?
Right.
Exactly. It's this idea that people seem to think that comics canon is solidified the second it's
Yes.
written, that if it is anything other than what they read, it doesn't count. But like while reading it, I think that a lot of people just need to be a lot more accepting of comics, because like I'm straight, and like in real life I'm a straight guy, but reading these characters you can tell emotional connections. Like you shouldn't be like going, oh I relate to this Robin, so therefore they have to be straight.
Exactly.
No,
Right.
I relate to Tim Drake. I have a lot of things in common with Tim Drake. Coffee addiction, I never sleep, I go went to college in a different town, had a lot of different experience. Like I have a lot of things in common with Tim Drake, but that doesn't mean that I immediately have to go, oh, that means that everything about Tim Drake lines up with me
And
specifically.
I think we're seeing a lot of supposedly straight fans on Twitter are saying, oh, Tim Drake is not straight anymore. How am I going to relate to him? And I just want to say all of these queer readers have been identifying with Tim Drake when he was supposedly straight for how many decades now? So like now that he is revealed to not be straight at this point, it's like the tables have turned. Like
I know
also
it's so hard for them. They don't have any other straight people to relate to in comics. So
absolutely. All of your favorite comic characters are actually gay, and they just don't know it yet.
I mean, that is our position on this podcast, but
I mean, they have Joker.
no.
There you go. Perfect.
Yep, that's what they need.
It's this weird idea that I see a lot of fans have, where like if the sexuality is different, that means that there's nothing else you can relate to.
Right.
Like that's the thing that completely defines that character. There's no other aspects. Really? That's it. You're telling me the only reason you like Batman is because he fucks Catwoman. That's it?
Allegedly.
He doesn't do that. He doesn't do that.
Right.
That's
And
not what
like
heroes do.
while being gay is a big part of gay culture, that is not the only part of a person. So I completely agree.
He's still coffee addicted. He's still mentally unwell. We love him.
He's still Tim Drake. That doesn't change
He's all
anything.
the things he's always been.
I will say those were the two of the best days on Twitter for me.
They were
I
great.
had a great time. I love trolling some people, but as aesthetic as I was, a couple weeks later we heard that Tynan was leaving the Batman title and like kind of being the mastermind, and I was like, oh no, like what is going to happen Right, because in my mind, I'm like, oh, Tynan was like I don't want to say mastermind again, but he was like shepherding this storyline. And in my mind, that's how I saw it. And suddenly I was like, oh no, what is going to happen once he's gone to this Tim Drake being queer storyline?
Yeah.
So now that Tim is canonically queer, being realistic, do you guys really think we're going to get TimKon at some point?
I think that it might show up. It might be discussed. But I think another thing that a lot of people, like I'm on board with it as well, is that one of the characters is now canonically bisexual. We have no idea if they plan to do that to
Right.
Connor as well. Or
Have you
if they
seen
plan
his
to reveal
outfit?
that. Like, I'm not.
Look,
I'm in this room, so obviously you know what my opinion is. But
yes,
we have no idea if the writers plan to actually. If now that they revealed that he's bisexual, we have no idea if the writers actually have any plans to move forward with anything past that.
Yeah.
And honestly, with a lot of how these storylines go, there's a very high possibility that they might have just collected their brownie points and then leave it and just go, well, everybody was saying Tim Drake is bi, so now he is. You happy? And now they're just going to leave it and go and move on.
Right.
My worst fear.
I know,
right.
trust me, I want it so bad. But I mean, realistically, I think they might touch on it. They might hint at it. They might have a conversation or two about it in the books, or maybe like a jab here and there. But until that there's a writer that is really interested in that story being told, I don't think it'll become a major plot element, because honestly, Tim Drake doesn't have a reoccurring title.
Yeah.
He shows up in Teen Titans every now and again, but since the Teen Titans moved over to Damian, he doesn't have his own team. So he's not a reoccurring character in almost any book on his own, other than the Batman Urban Legends book. So there's not really, and I mean this from like a purely financial angle, there's not really a reason for DC to open up that storyline, at least from their perspective, because it would be, look, now we have to have a focus on Tim Drake. We need to develop the actual relationship in the comics outside of what people assume is the relationship building. We need to reveal that Connor is now bisexual, and we need to have their actual story where they become a thing. Because we had 2-3 issues of Bernard and him before they even went on a date. Like we have no idea how long the setup to TimKon would even take, if they even put any focus on Tim Drake. So I think that while it is a possibility, I'm hopeful, but I'm not expecting, is the way I would put it.
That's fair.
Yeah. How about you, Thomas? What do you think?
Yeah, give us some hope.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, I do have like more faith in it, because a lot of like the coding with Tim stems from TimKon. So I sort of see them as like a matching set almost, like in terms of like, if one comes out, then surely the other one. And they're not really doing anything with Connor as well at the moment. Like, we thought he was going to be in Suicide Squad, but that was just, match. So they could like just reveal him, because I don't know, they don't have, like, it's sort of the same boat as him, because both of them, or the entire team, the entire generation, like the core four, like don't have a solid book right now. So like, I'm not sure how they'll like, where they'll put it. Like, I'm hoping for like not a Young Justice, but like a Titans revival sort of for that generation, for like next year. And they could possibly like develop it there or something. Although I do like 100% have like confidence that they'll like touch on it, or like, God forbid, like joke about it, because they don't like joke about it and be like, oh, like Connor's like, oh, don't worry, I'm straight. I'd be like, no.
I've known many a gay man that said that before. Don't worry.
They can't. Like, he can tell me like he's straight, but I'm not buying it.
Right.
Doesn't matter what the writers tell me.
Right.
It's
just that TikTok audio of, I'm not bi. Well, I'm not buying it.
See, in my mind, I'm like, Robin is a bigger name than Superboy. So if a Robin can come out, a Superboy could come out. And like Thomas is saying, they're not really doing anything with Superboy right now. Like, make it happen. like, again, I totally see where Panda's coming from, and realistically, I'm like,
Yeah, same.
Panda's right. But me being hopeful, I'm like, I'm giving it 5 years.
I'm a deeply cynical comic reader.
No, like, I totally think I see where you're coming from.
I see, and I'm landing somewhere in the middle where I didn't think this would ever happen. So I'm just like, who knows what's possible? Like
Right.
maybe the sky's the limit. I don't even
Make
know
them
anymore.
all queer.
They're all gay.
Apparently.
Yes, we've got Tim Drake. Now we're moving on
We're
to Jason
coming-
Todd.
Yes,
Look,
straight
man,
people.
Jason Todd and Roy Harper had an entire book
They-
where it was just the two of them. We all know. We're not.
Absolutely. I mean, Jason has called him his boyfriend. Okay, sure, he was joking in that casual way you do with your friends. Okay,
Yeah, totally. 100%.
so normal.
I mean,
Bros being
I'm
bros.
also looking at the entire thing through the idea that they just put Tim in a relationship with Bernard.
Yes. Yes.
So we have to wait long enough for that relationship to run its course. We need to have the inevitable single phase that every single superhero has whenever they
Mhm.
get out of a long-term relationship, or the hoe phase. Remember
Yes.
when Spider-Man got out of his relationship with Mary Jane after one more day and they were just like, put him in 30. Like,
Okay, but I would kind of be here for Tim's bisexual hoe phase, though.
I mean,
all
if he
know-
could break up with Stephanie off panel, Bernard is also going to be where'd Bernard go?
oh, he did.
Bernard
Nobody was
moved.
super invested in the relationship. We were just
Right.
kind of hoping for Connor.
Yeah. Bernard
Exactly.
moved to Canada. Sorry, everyone.
Yeah.
Yep, he vanished once before. It'll happen again.
I have to give DC a hand for the balls of having him break up with Stephanie off panel
It's
and
so
then
wild.
never telling us, because everyone, as soon as I got a ton of comments where people were like, I'm happy he's bi, but what happened to Stephanie? And I'm like, yeah, we don't, they went on a break with quotes, and we're getting that from Damien. So we're not particularly sure what happened there.
We all know that Stephanie ran off with Cass. It's simple.
I mean, they are getting their own Batgirls books.
I'm just saying.
So excited.
Let's be honest.
both of them just looked each other in the eyes and were like, we're bi, right? Okay,
Yeah.
cool. That was how their relationship ended, is Tim and Steph just looked at each other and was like, yeah, I've been secretly in love with Connor this whole time. And she's just like, oh, good, because I've been in love with Cassie this entire time.
Oh.
Best ever episode if that happened. Make it happen.
They broke up with a fist bump and were just like, cheers, good luck.
Yeah, if you need a wingman, I'm here for you.
Yeah.
Our friend of the pod, Alex Jaffe, is like, oh, Stephanie's just gonna be like, oh yeah, I'm bi too.
Yeah.
I think
100%.
let's do it. Let's do it. We're coming for all of the former Robins. They are all bisexual.
Oh, come on.
now.
Let's be honest. We're going for all of the Bat family.
That's
here.
true. It's true. Batman is asexual, and no one can convince me otherwise.
Panda, you know us so well.
Batman is ace, and you cannot tell me that he is not looking at Superman with puppy dog eyes, where he's just
yes.
like, come and help me, please.
Yes, at all times.
Lois
Right,
knows,
Papa like
Catwoman
son.
knows. They don't talk about it behind the scenes.
Yes, 100%. Well, if we were in this magical, strange world that we're now living in to get TimKon, what would you want to see? So putting aside all the what we might see, what would you hope for?
I just want him to be happy. Just put him in a relationship and put him in the background. Like, just say they're in a relationship and then fucking just let them be in one. Like how you do with every other straight superhero, where they're like, oh yeah,
Yeah.
those two are dating, and
I
then
love it.
have them just be happily dating. Like when Gwen Stacy and Miles Morales got into a relationship,
Yes.
there wasn't 30 stories about the rockiness of their relationship or them figuring out how to be in a relationship. They were just in a relationship and they were happy together.
Oh yeah.
1000%.
Give me that for Tim and Connor. Look, we've had like what, 2-3 decades of them teasing it. Can we just please just let it happen?
Yes.
Instead of, because I know the first thought would be, okay, let's put them in a relationship and then we'll go through the life of these two together as they're battling out their relationship. Think like Batman and Catwoman through the
Yeah.
entire saga of those two not getting married was, let's see the rockiness of how their relationship goes down. We've seen that. We've
Yeah.
seen that. We've had 3 fucking decades of that. Just put them in a relationship and just say, yeah, they're dating.
Yeah.
and leave it at that. And then if they date for long enough and nobody fucking riots, let them get married and be happy and have that.
Make them
Yeah.
the Lois and Superman couple, like where they're
Yeah.
just are together and it's just a fact. I would
Hell,
love
that would be an amazing way to actually tie together the super family and the bat family
right.
officially. Is
Yes.
to actually be like, oh yeah, since fucking there would be riots in the streets if we had Batman and Superman become a thing, even though everyone knows. We're gonna it's Tim Drake and Superboy, and they're an official couple now. And now the Bat family and Superman family are actually connected, and people can stop being like, oh, they're actually angry at each other all the time.
No, they're in-laws now.
They're in-laws. Come on.
They're in-laws.
Yeah, I love some good angst, but like these two characters have already had so much angst that I'm like, just let them be happy. Give them what
Exactly.
Wiccan and Hulkling have.
100%. Plus, I mean, for like what, the third bisexual relationship in comics ever,
Right.
can we just not have the stereotype perpetuated that we need to explain away the relationship or to like see how hard it is? Like,
Yes.
it's let them just be in a fucking relationship. We're going to comics for an escapism already.
Yes.
So can we just have it be a better world, for fuck's sake?
Yes, please. Thank you.
And Thomas, all right, give us your ideal fanfic idea, please.
Beyond the ones I've written, I'm a little bit more ambitious, where I'm like, give them a duo book,
Oh.
like Super Sons, sort of, but like,
but
Yes.
gayer
But-
than
but
it already
gay.
was. Gayer.
And
Have you read Super Sons?
but it's not really angsty. It's just like this really
Yeah.
fluffy, romantic, like duo book. That's just like not really like I'm sure there's like some bumps or like some like tiny bits of angst, like a little sprinkle of angst, but it's mostly just like, you know, them just being happy and cute and, you know, romantic and supportive of each other and like all that shebang and like beating up bad guys and homophobes together.
Yes. Yes. I'm waiting for my TimKon webtoons comic. Just TimKon, just a webtoon. Like a whole story is them. That's what I want.
That can be the spin-off of Wayne Family Adventures. is
Yes.
Just having a TimKon comic
Please.
over on the side.
Please.
I mean, honestly, look, webtoons is what they're giving us as a look. This is for the fans
Yes.
that have been asking for these books that we are not willing to put in canon. So
Yeah.
we're just going to put it off to the side and put it on that digital platform I hear the kids are talking about. So, I mean, that's not too
Right.
far off of what could happen.
I'm just saying, Webtoons is already one of the gayest apps. Like as far as content wise, probably like 75 or more % of it is already queer content. Just make one DC one. That's all I'm asking.
Please.
Hey man, if they do end up hiring me as Red Hood, I will do my damnedest to see what happens if I can make him buy.
We will stand
Yes.
it. Fingers crossed for you.
Yes.
Thank you.
We want it to happen.
Hopes are high. Expectations are astronomically low, below the floorboards.
Yeah. You will always be our Red Hood. So
Thank you.
And off the top of your heads, what are the best, gayest TimKon moments you can think of?
Other than the Orpheus moment, because that's what I call that entire storyline. It's Orpheus, but it's Robin.
yes.
Because honestly, like the Titans walking in and being like, "Why do you have an evil lab down here?" And he's like, "I'm trying to bring my boyfriend back." Like that's. I think that probably tops out the charts. And if not that, then the moment in the sewers where Connor is talking to Tim because he's in the Red Robin outfit, the best Red Robin outfit, I'll die on that hill. When he's in the Red Robin outfit and they're like, and Connor just goes like, "Hey, dude, what the fuck are you doing, man?" And he's like, "I need to know. I need to find out. I know he's alive." And he's like, "Dude, okay, I believe you there. Just want to make sure you're chill, man. You good?" I think other than those two are probably my top moments because it's both Tim Drake being pure chaos and Connor being the one that actually like centers him.
Yes.
Because we've seen as soon as Connor disappears, Tim Drake immediately goes mad scientist. And it's like,
yes.
I'm just going to steal a bunch of DNA from Superman and Lex Luthor and mash them together until we get Superboy.
Homebrew boyfriend. I don't know what you mean.
Well, I was gonna say the sewer issue
Yeah.
as well, but issue from I think Teen Titans where it's like "You'll always be my Robin and you'll always be my clone boy."
Yeah.
That's like
yeah.
just kiss already.
Yeah.
Like,
You could not. That is a romantic scene. You cannot. You couldn't even code that through the "it's just dudes being bros" filter that they put most of them in. Like that is the most upfront, honest.
Yeah. Yes, 100%. I would say that Teen Titans Run has several of those lines. I was spamming TJ with them earlier. One of my favorites is the "thank you for everything you did and everything you couldn't do." What did that
from the
mean?
New 52 one.
Thank you. Yes. What did that mean? If not gay, I don't know what else he meant. It's like, I know you couldn't admit that you loved me, but I know.
I just want there to be a moment where those two walking fashion disasters fucking roast each other for their terrible goddamn costume design.
Yes.
I just want, like, are you wearing, I'm getting this sass from somebody wearing a leather jacket over spandex, says the guy wearing a Vegas cape. What the fuck? And they just fucking bounce off of each other because honestly, neither of those two know how to dress themselves.
No,
and I
not at all.
I just want them to be fashion disasters together.
I love it. Perfect.
Thomas, do you have any TimKon must reads that we haven't already talked about?
I would say the Superman / Batman, not Batman / Superman. It's Superman / Batman 7 and 26. They're like purely TimKon, and one of them is like sort of in retrospect, like because it's post Connor's D word. And yeah, it's just mainly just Tim like mourning at his statue, sort of, and like. But there was like one scene in one of them that like I'm not really a fan of because it's kind of like gross sort of, but no, it's fine, but it's all good. But yeah, it's just cute and what I want for like a duo.
I feel like it says something to my maturity because you said post Connor's D word and I was like, post his dick? What do you mean?
I mean,
look, we have yet to get a Batman damned with Superboy. All right,
I would kill for that. I want to see it DC and not in Shadow.
Yeah. Black label TimKon comic win.
Look, we all know what that would be, and I don't think they would even be able to publish that through Black Label. That's going straight to DeviantArt. That's not.
Or Webtoon. Give me the Webtoon, please.
Webtoons would never.
No.
Just put an age restriction over it.
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
Put an age restriction, and then when they come out with the voice actors for it, then everybody can panic.
Yeah.
Yes, the auditions will just be grunts. And it's not fighting. Hey. All right.
There's quotes around fighting noises.
Yeah.
Right. They're like, we're recording what
wrestling.
exactly?
There's a winky face emoji in the text. Like, okay, come on.
So other than the canon moments, do the two of you have any favorite things in fandom? Do you have like fic recs or fan creators people should check out?
I'm gonna be real with you. Until I actually became like a member of the community, I very rarely delved into like fan fiction and stuff like that until I literally became one and started making my own stuff. I'm not particularly sure, just because I don't engross myself in the specifics. But I would say if people want to get into it, if you just start looking into Robin content, literally if it wasn't made by DC and it has Tim Drake in it, there is a very high likelihood that he is both bi and dating Connor.
Yeah,
so what you're saying is check out Panda Red on TikTok.
Anyone, check out anybody who isn't officially paid by DC, and the likelihood is very high.
It's very true.
I've met very few people that are fans of the Bat Family and make content about the Bat Family who don't subscribe to that idea, because they're like, oh yeah, I can read. I have eyes, I can see. It's
right, truly.
For me, I'm a very like this is like one of my biggest hot take.
Ooh.
Is I'm like 100% or like mostly 100% 2000s t-shirt Connor over leather jacket.
Thank you.
Like
thank you very much.
I'm just like I want, like, I'm not a fan of the jeans. Like, just give him red tights and then the shirt. And I'll be fine. But so like I'm just a big fan of like Tim wearing the shirt, like, and it's like oversized on him. And
you have the link to this fanfic, or
no, there's so many like fan art.
just around this general time frame.
I love it. I love it.
I gotta say, as
And-
someone who also has a lot of costume hot takes, I love street clothes costumes, as referenced by Jason Todd. So I'm very happy there's another person that likes t-shirt Superboy.
Yeah.
a
I'm like
classic.
one of the 5 people who do, but
Look, man, I made a video talking about how much I liked the Red Robin outfit where he's wearing a cowl.
Yeah.
And I got a bunch of condom head messages
Oh, no.
immediately after that.
I love that
So,
costume too. I'm on your
that's my-
side on that one.
That
I
is
think
my
it's great.
favorite Tim Drake costume of all time. And anybody who
my
tells
least
me it's bad is just wrong, and they don't know it yet.
People are forgetting that the beautiful panels where he pulls the cowl off and has that amazing like hair somehow magically under that cowl. It was perfect. It was great.
Just the huge, like, I think it's literally written into the comic that he's not like taking care of himself at that point.
Yes,
So he's
100%.
not cutting his hair.
It's
he's not,
long.
like,
It's perfect. Yes.
He's got like shoulder length hair that he sometimes somehow shoves into a cowl.
yeah, so uncomfortable. There's just no situation where that feels good.
I have like one strip of hair down my head, and I still have trouble getting it into a mask convincingly. Like,
So we have a question about fandom now. What has your experiences been like in fandom? Thomas, more specifically for you, the TimKon fandom, like that community, and then Panda more generally as the DC fandom.
like it has its ups and downs, like as all fandoms do. Like yeah, you run into like some not so great people,
Mhm.
mostly just antis. Like
yeah, the antis are exhausting.
like yeah, they're just like go away, please. Yeah, but mostly it's just been like really positive. It's like it's always just been like this really like healthy sort of like fan base, or just like
Aw.
or not like or just like this subsection, like those people who like focus on it. Like I'm talking about those specifically, not like just generally people who are like, oh yeah, I'll ship it, and they're in the
Yeah.
background also, or like in my background in my Bat family fic. Just yeah, so it's just been a really good community to be in, and like yeah, I made lots of friends who like ship it, and it's kind of like for me, it's kind of like a deal breaker if you don't, sort of.
You're safe with
Like-
us. Don't worry.
Yeah, it's like if you don't ship TimKon or like think any of them are straight, then I'm like, sorry, I don't think we can work out. And yeah, like, and there's, as I said, like there's like some antis and like some people who like, and some takes that I'm not that I don't agree with,
Yeah.
that I keep seeing all the time. And like I said, I'm sitting here like I'm like, oh, I don't like the Red Robin costume. And
Oh
I'm like,
no. Okay, it's okay. We won't kick you off the show for it. It's fine.
it's
That's
fine.
fine. Like,
you can
I'm
be
like-
wrong on some things. It's okay.
Oh,
I am right that the 1 year later costume is the best, and it should come back.
That the
But
what
without
costume? Excuse me.
The red and black one.
Oh, we're gonna get in a fight. It's
Are you talking about the new
No.
52 costume with the crazy cape?
No.
Okay, thank God.
Nah, don't like. I just associate that one with like the bad writing that the Teen Titans New 52 came with.
Listen, as long as
But-
that's not your favorite costume, any other costume's a good idea.
Nah, just not my favorite. I mean, it's better than Drake. Like, we can-
God,
I think
what
we-
isn't? What isn't better than Drake?
I want to.
I think we can all agree.
Thought that was a good idea.
You thought it was a good idea? Wait.
No, I want to meet the person
Oh,
that did.
Oh, I thought you said you did, and I was like, wait, Panda,
No.
I've respected you so much up to this moment.
It was all Bendis. Just blame him.
Oh, Bendis, what happened, buddy? Who
I want to
hurt
sit
you?
down and go like, what the fuck was your thought process there?
Like, do you
Hmm?
not know that there's a rapper named Drake? I just
I'm
need to-
very convinced that the person that thought that Drake was a good idea was the same person that pitched Rick Grayson.
Oh God, it was. It's
Yeah.
that one guy, some guy at DC Comics. just
That
doesn't-
that's that
And
intern that's like, oh, I got this good idea. I've been working on it for a real long
Right.
time. What if we took away one goddamn letter of his name?
is this the same guy that made Damian Ian?
Oh God, that guy needs to have a talking to.
I'm convinced that there's just
Jason's
one.
on the chopping block for good
There's
bad
just one
name.
intern in the back that I'm gonna blame all of the problems on DC
Yes.
on.
Yes.
It's gonna be
Yes.
the same person that whitewashed him, named him Ian, and gave
Yes.
him brown hair. The
Honestly,
fuck.
we're
And
gonna call that guy Chad, and we hate him.
yeah, fuck Chad.
That's
Chad.
the intern.
Fucking
Chad, the
Chad.
DC
Yeah,
intern.
fucking Chad, the DC intern over here,
Stop inserting your fanfics.
Oh my god. He's back there texting Chuck Dixon. Good buddies.
It's Chuck Dixon's nephew. Let's be honest.
Oh no.
Oh,
Oh my god, they have matching initials.
I
Chad
got
Dixon.
this.
Chad Dixon.
Chad Dixon. Okay.
Hit the floor.
Leave Chad alone.
So, in true fandom style, what songs do you think would be on a TimKon playlist? If you need time, I have prepped a few.
This was all Chris.
Look, I just mean like if Spotify comes on, you hear a song and you're like, yeah, that'd be them. That's what I mean.
I mean, I did make a playlist.
Yes! I knew I wasn't the only one with a playlist out here. What is on your playlist?
I just gotta find it. Like,
Yes.
so a lot of choice of Van, to be honest. Like,
Yes! Perfect!
like Studge. He's
Yes.
one of his recent ones.
Oh my god, yes.
This one could go both ways, but Girlfriend by Avril Lavigne.
Ooh,
Like,
I mean, Tim Drake goes both ways. So
I love that. I don't like your girlfriend. Is it about Stephanie?
yeah, or like, I mean, I love Cassie, so it's like, don't attack her. And it's like, Steve Grand,
Yeah.
like All American Boy. I kind of like stick to the
God,
Connor
That's
because I'm like Farm Boy Connor, right? So I'm like gay country
Aw.
boy.
Thomas, you need to send me this playlist.
yeah, is it on
Oh, I will.
Spotify?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, please send it to us. I'm not kidding.
For real, I may be making one to go up with this episode as well. So
Oh gosh. Thank you.
And at all fandom playlists, it is a law of fandom must include a Taylor Swift song. So the song for them is I Think He Knows, which is all about how everyone knows that they're in love.
Aw.
So to wrap up with, yeah, I'm just gonna leave that there. It's fine. To wrap up with, what are your DC Comics related hills that you will die on?
Oh,
How many can I
Panda, I feel
have?
like you have many.
I
I
have
have
a
many.
pile.
You have a hill of hills.
Yeah, I have a hill of smaller hills. The Red Robin first costume designed by Alex Ross is the best Red Robin costume that has ever been made. The New 52 didn't happen. It was just a collective fever dream that we all had,
Except Court of Owls.
except Court of Owls.
Yeah.
Basically,
Okay.
just exclude a lot of the Batman content from that.
Yes.
And then everything else didn't happen. New 52 Superman was a mistake.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
anything involving him was also a mistake. Let's see what
Though there
else?
were some pretty gay Justice League issues with him and Batman. Just saying that
There were.
They were good, but that's it.
There were good moments, but that does not. I'm willing to lose those for the sake of losing that character. That is.
I don't know. The moment when Superman flies down and informs the entire Justice League that nobody cares about Batman as much as he does, I'm kind of holding on to that one.
That's a pretty good one. God, I just hate that costume
It's
so much.
real fair. I mean,
Yeah.
there's
It's-
nothing else good, but that moment.
Oh, here's one very, very specific one. If Superman's costume's neckline is above his collarbones, it's a bad story.
Oh my God.
Stop.
I need to look this up now. I'm like trying to picture this.
Because
Me.
anytime that Superman's costume is shown, the neckline ends right at about his collarbones and the cape comes up to it.
Uh-huh.
And usually, if the costume design looks like that, the storyline is going to be at least decent. And then usually, if they have the neckline go all the way up to his neck or above his neck, like a collar,
Oh, I'm
hence
looking
New
at the
52.
collar. Oh
Yeah.
no.
yeah, usually they suck. Titans was a mistake. The only thing good to come out of Titans was Doom Patrol.
The show.
Yeah, the show.
Okay.
No, Titans as a concept, the whole of Titans in the comics are all so bad that no, I'm joking. I love.
Oh, I was
love
gonna
that so
say,
much.
I was like, behold.
all
The
of
whole thing.
it. I hate it all. I don't know how I've survived in this
I was gonna
fandom
say-
so long.
Panda doesn't even like comics, it turns out.
Yeah, it turns out I actually hate comics. I've been exploiting everyone this whole
Oh
time.
man. We were
Fake
tricked
fan.
again.
Exactly. I know I have like a million. Oh yeah, Hal Jordan is a shitty person.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. I hate
And-
Hal Jordan. I'm
Yeah.
glad I'm not alone.
I will take literally any other Green Lantern over Hal
Yes,
Jordan any
I
day
actually
of the
like
week.
all the other ones pretty much. I just don't like Hal Jordan.
Yeah, I just really, really don't like Hal Jordan. Specifically relating to the Robins, they deserve their own book. All
Yes.
the Robins should live at least remotely close to each other. The best thing to ever happen in comics ever was the canonization of the Bat Fam group text.
Yes.
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 1000%.
That is the best thing to have ever been made.
Thank you,
And
Tom
we all
Taylor.
knew it. We all knew it existed, but the fact that none of us had said anything until it showed up is it's so fucking good. I love it.
So good.
Alfred didn't die, and I'm not gonna
Yeah.
let up on that.
He didn't.
He's just from retirement. He's just,
Yeah, he went
in
on
Hawaii.
vacation for a while. And when he inevitably comes back, because
Mhm.
we all know he's going to, the
Yeah.
fact that no one's reacted to it,
Yeah.
like he died and then Robin quit because he died. The fact that no one has really made like a tirade, like, oh my God, Alfred's dead.
Right.
He's come on. Like
We just don't buy it.
he died for Nightwing to have a storyline, which I like the Nightwing storyline, don't get me wrong, but oh yeah, and Alfred is the most powerful member of the Bat family.
Accurate. Yes. Facts.
I have
I
so
feel like
many.
this is therapy. You're like exercising a lot of stuff right now.
I have a whole like book of this shit just because like you get it, you like a fandom for long enough and you have your own version in your head. I say on my page a lot that everybody's canon is different.
Mhm.
And everybody's going to have a different version of what canon is, specifically because
Yes.
they've read different books. Oh, here's my hot take. I think the best period to be a comic book fan was about just a few years before the New 52 started. And then everything about a year before the New 52 started just didn't happen. And I refuse to believe that it happened.
Yes.
Because you could tell that they knew they were going to be rebooted, so they all just went into panic mode and made a bunch of really crazy fucking stories at the end there. Remember Red Hood donning a white suit and a pill helmet with bright red guns and getting a Robin named Scarlet with a different face?
Yes, we remember.
I
read
try
that
not
one.
to.
We read that one for the show and we're not okay.
Oh, it's beautiful. It's great. We just
When he was a social media influencer in that one too. Like,
yeah,
let's not
he also was a
forget.
redhead. I love
Yes. Oh,
they made him a
God.
redhead and they gave him a soul patch. That was
A
so weird.
redhead that specifically said that Bruce made him dye his hair black to look like Dick. Wow.
You
The
see,
daddy
I only
issues.
like to include that in my fan version of like my own personal version of canon. That one is tentatively true to me only for when I want Batman to look bad.
Yes.
When I
'cause it's-
want to make a story about Batman being a terrible person, because let's all be honest, Batman has a lot of situations where
Yes.
he's a bad person.
Yes.
I keep that one in the back burner where I go, no, that's not real until I need it to be. And then I go, yeah, no, that's real. Because that sounds like some fuck shit that Bruce Wayne would pull out to be like, wait, hold on. No one's going to know I switched kids, even though this one's 4 years younger. Oh, Jason Todd has a white streak in his hair.
Yes.
No
I love
matter
that
how
too.
much
I love
DC Rebirth and the New 52 tell me that's not true. Fuck you. That's the best part.
I like that fan art never stopped having it. They were just like, no, this is still here. We don't see we don't perceive the lack of it.
Because if he doesn't have it, he just looks like Dick Grayson in a different costume.
It does.
All of the Robins basically look the same, save for eye color. And
Facts
they
for
all
days.
look just like different ages of the same fucking guy. So having some physical distinction is great.
I always think of that one panel from Court of Owls where they're all lined up and they look like the same person, just slightly shorter.
An
Yeah,
evolution chart.
They do.
In my personal headcanon of all of the Robins, Dick Grayson has like slightly tan skin and blue eyes.
Yeah.
Jason Todd is the palest motherfucker alive, just because he grew up on I imagine him like pale but really fucking big, also with blue eyes, but like grayer blue
Yeah.
eyes.
Yes.
Tim Drake has brown eyes and is skinny, and
Yes.
his hair is like a burnt black, so it's like a brownish black.
Mhm.
And also he's also very pale but without the freckles. And then Damian is obviously biracial, because
Yeah.
as much as I fucking hate the fact that artists don't include that part of his character, and he has piercing green eyes,
Yes.
because we've seen Talia and we've seen Bruce, and both of them have the most fucking piercing eyes of all time.
Yes, 1000%. The way he looks in the Wayne Family Adventures should be the only way he ever looks. Thank you very much.
Yeah, that is That is my one favorite thing about Wayne Family Adventures is the fact that one, it's focused on Duke Thomas, and two,
Yes.
Damien looks correct, and they
Yes.
stopped drawing him like a white kid.
Yes, thank
'Cause
you.
It
Yes.
is aggravating that they put that in as part of his character and then just fucking ignored it for forever.
Yeah, 1000%. Ian Wayne never happened.
Oh
Just
yeah, Ian Wayne never happened.
Never happened.
That story is fake. It was a collective fever dream. Oh, DCU, DCYOU.
Mhm.
I say that happened just because I love the weird shit that happened in that. Bunny suit Batman lives in my head rent free of the worst idea ever. Also, buff Commissioner Gordon with a mohawk is just very confusing.
You really have a whole book, don't you?
Thomas, you're gonna have to cut me off. I will keep.
Oh,
going.
okay. I mean, I had 6 or 7 hills.
Yes,
Like,
I love
at the
this.
top-
Hills only episode is
Yes.
DC Hot Takes, the episode.
yes.
Okay, one, as I said, 2000s t-shirt Superway over punk jacket, and I hope he changes back.
I do like the punk jacket.
I like the jacket.
I have to
TJ.
disagree with you guys.
I know. 2, Tim should always be Robin. Like, I just don't think any other mantle kind of works for him. Like, I mean, he tried other stuff out, but it just hasn't worked. So I just think Robin just suits him, and he kind of made it his own identity, sort of like its own solo person. 3, 100% pro briefs over the tights and under the tights. Superman, Tim, Connor if he's Superman eventually,
Mhm.
like Dr. Fate even, like all have them. If it works, they should have them. And also more first panels as well.
Please.
What was the 4th one? The DCEU, I hate it. Like, I'm just like I just don't vibe with it, to be honest. Like, it's just
Mhm.
kind of
Yeah.
like there's some elements that work, but like a lot of it, like not really what I would want to see in like a DC cinematic universe.
Mhm.
I think I stated
Fair.
in a podcast one time that you can tell exactly what comics Zack Snyder
Yep.
read off
Yep.
of the characterizations in the DCEU. You
Yep.
can
Yeah.
pinpoint the exact stories that he got his characters from.
Yeah.
Dark Knight Returns.
God.
It basically
God.
begins and ends with Dark Knight Returns and like the edgy stuff no one likes to talk about from the 90s.
Yep. 1000%.
Uh,
Shazam is great though. I will always
yeah,
die on
Shazam is my
still.
favorite.
Yeah.
Shazam's
Birds
my
of
favorite.
Prey. I'm
Birds
a
of Prey is great too, and
fan.
the new Suicide Squad, not the original one.
Mm.
The new one doesn't count as DCEU.
Yeah,
I-
what
I-
even is it? I don't know.
I don't-
That's an indie movie.
And I think I have one more. Injustice and Deceased, I hate. Like,
Ooh.
I'm just very like a lot of the deaths in them like give me panic attacks, and like especially like Tim's and Kyle Rayner's, like if I see like a panel of them, I'm just like, I need to lie down and like take a few breaths.
Oh
I
no.
don't like I don't know why. It's just like, it's probably like my Asperger's like being really like attached, but like
Mhm.
just like, and like, yeah, I just don't like them. And I'm glad Tom Taylor is doing Nightwing because in main continuity, so he's not murdering all my favorite characters. So
I will
Yet.
say that the death of Tim Drake in Injustice felt like it came out of fucking nowhere. And then they
Yeah.
just kind of passed over it, where it's like, oh, the Batman
so
kicked shit out of
uncalled
Zod, and then we're just going to move on from that.
Yeah,
One of his kids are dead. Not going to talk about that
right.
ever.
It's very Tim Drake for his death to just get passed over. It makes me so sad, but that's very what happens to him in comics.
He's the middle child. Let's all be
Right.
honest.
They're like, is somebody missing? Let's head count. Let's see.
Yeah, Dick Grayson
Uh,
was the first one, so everyone's always going to remember him. Jason Todd is the edgy one who's like a villain sometimes, so everyone's going to remember him. Damien's the piece of shit biological one that never shuts the fuck up, so he's
Mhm.
going to always be the one that people remember. And then Tim Drake is he's Robin.
Yeah.
The queer one.
Yeah, there's a queer one.
He's the-
That,
They gave him a character now. Congratulations. Here's your thing.
sorry, I have like one more.
Yeah, do it.
Like sort of topical or relevant to the episode. I'm not trying to invalidate like other people's readings, but like until it's revealed, like officially, I still think Tim's gay, not bi.
That's fair.
Yeah, that is fair because they haven't given him any label yet. So Yeah.
Yeah. They just had him date a man, and then everyone was like, he's bi now.
Yes, exactly. Yes. Which is why our other guest, Glenn Weldon, was like, no, call him queer until he gets a label, because otherwise we don't know. We don't know.
Yeah, like until it's like official, like I'll still say he's like gay, and like, it kind of rubbed me the wrong way, like all the articles that say he's canonically bi, when it's like he's still unlabeled, he's still figuring himself out.
Yeah.
And like we'll see what happens, and if he's bi, then I'll be like, cool, he's bi. But at the moment I've been thinking he's gay for like forever, so I'm like not gonna.
They'll have to pry it from your hands.
have to pry it from my
gay hands. Well, where can our listeners find you both on social media? And if you have anything exciting you want to plug, feel free to do that.
You can find me on Twitter and Instagram, I guess, under Thomas Esmore, which is spelled Esmore. And if you really want to read my fics,
I do.
They're on AO3 under Spidey Whiteys.
I love it.
Such a good name.
Because Peter Parker is the biggest tidy whitest guy in comics, and you can buy that from my cold dead hands.
You can find me everywhere, basically any social media, as the Panda Red, ThePandaRedd. TikTok primarily, that's my biggest platform, but I'm also on YouTube and Twitch and Twitter, and yeah, you can find me there. I do a lot of Bat Family content, a lot of comic book content in general, a lot of comic book discussions and skits, and I am desperately trying to get DC to hire me to play Red Hood in something, somewhere, anywhere.
Do it, DC, do it.
Jason Todd is my boy, and I want to do him justice.
You had a hashtag, didn't you?
I do. Hashtag Panda Red Hood is what I have it set up as, where it's the way my name is spelled, so it's PANDAREDD Hood. And because I desperately want them to hire me for something anywhere, even if it's not just a voice or a live action role. I just want something.
1000%. And if you're not already following Panda on TikTok, you need to be, because it is just a pure joy all the time.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Thank you both for coming. This was fun.
This was awesome.
Oh, so welcome.
Thank you for listening to this episode of the Gotham Outsiders. You can find me, Chris, on Twitter at The Myth of Psyche, where I talk feminism, queerness, psychology, books, and oftentimes Batman. You can also now find me at talkingcomics.com, where I write reviews and a column and sometimes the news about comics. You'd also find my co-host TJ
at TroyFin2 on Twitter, where I talk about all things book related and Batman more often than I used to.
And you can find us both on Twitter at Gotham Outsiders, where we talk about Batman all the time. Join us next time. Same bat time, same bat place.